So I was just eating some peanut butter filled pretzels, and I looked at Vic, and I was like, literally, my name is Jamie,
And I'm Vic.
and I've got beef right now.
Yeah, I think you have more than that.
I
think you might have peanut butter.
I have stale peanut butter. Okay. I saw a little snack table in your room.
The one I put out for you.
Yes, and I saw like a little tub of peanut butter pretzel nuggets,
I do like those.
and I was like, "Oh, that looks good." I'm a little peckish. I could eat some. I grabbed the box. You noticed me grabbing the box, opening it. You waited until I ate some before you said, "Yeah, those are a little old."
Yeah, I didn't want to freak you out.
You let me feel like I was eating like wet cardboard. No, dry cardboard until I wet it with my own mouth before you said anything. And then you just said, "Oh yeah, those are a little old." I look at the container and it says best if used by February of 2023. Now, there's an issue right now. There's an issue with that.
It does say best,
Right.
not only.
But the thing is, they were already opened. So it's not like they had been sealed the entire time. You had let air in.
Just a little air. I tried to suck it out before closing it.
Okay. I mean, I'm feeling okay right now.
Yeah.
You do have
Let me know-
Tums
yeah, if you need any
at the ready.
Or a stomach pump. We do have
that
that.
too. Or dill stick if I need digital stimulation.
But yes. I think you brought that one.
Yeah, I brought that up. Good thing I knew what digital stimulation was when
When you came over here.
when that whole fiasco occurred. What are we doing right now? What are we talking about again? Some show? TV show?
Just our own life, I think.
Oh yeah, no. This is reality. This is autobiographical.
No, but that unfortunately did come by the bachelors and bachelorettes in paradise.
Yeah, the Paradise Crew wants to talk
Paradise.
about that. Before we get to that,
Yeah, let's talk
about the good show
The
first.
good one.
Gary, the
Yes.
Golden Bachelor.
The golden boy.
I appreciate how they started the episode with just a literal 5-second clip of him crying
Yeah,
to
I know.
immediately make me feel bad, and I was like, "Who
I know.
hurt my man?
What happened? Don't you dare touch Gary.
If you hurt my man like that again, there will be hell to pay." It turned out to actually be a very valid reason.
It turned out to be fine-ish.
Before we get to that, who did we see first in the episode? Oh, first thing I wrote down was, if you're asking, I'm telling. What? Oh my gosh, that was a little bit weird.
That was a
The
little
little
weird.
crew of
The ASKN crew.
April, Susan, Kathy, and was it Nancy?
Yes.
Kathy being some sort of leader.
Hellraiser.
Oh yeah, a hellraiser for sure.
And leader.
She does immediately, even from the get-go, voice a little bit of jealousy of Teresa. Although at first she was like, her shirts are so small. Like she pulls out like a thing of like 5 shirts, and I'm like, that would be like
My underwear.
Yeah,
drawer.
my underwear bag, and I'm like, okay,
Okay.
whatever. But
We don't need to know how many underwears you packed.
yeah, I don't know. It was a little silly, and it was kind of innocent at first.
Yeah, I thought nothing of it until
Yeah.
you watched the episode.
Yeah, and then you get
And
to
you
the end, I'm like,
realize.
oh, ooh,
That was like her origin story of becoming the
yeah,
Joker.
villain origin. But see, the other ones I still don't have an issue with though. Like April is, I don't have an issue with
Yeah.
April.
Definitely not. She's been doing
Susan,
good.
no. Nancy, I feel like had a really good showing last episode. She was the wedding dress.
Yeah. She had a really good talk with Gary.
Yeah. But Kathy, it's like she's only getting moments where we're just seeing her saying some pretty bold, wild stuff.
telling some wild tales that
Yeah,
may or
she's
may
telling
not
some
have
tall
happened.
tales. Before we get to that, let's go over the group date.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is an interesting one.
I first want to get your opinion on the just the fact that all of them were invited. Did you like or dislike that?
I thought it was pretty good. You get to see all the people for at least a little bit, remind you who's who
Yeah.
and what they can do.
I mean, ultimately, I feel like the more people there are, the harder it is to like actually spend
Judge,
any
yeah.
like time with anyone. But this one ended up being like it basically was like half group date, half one-on-one date because
performances,
like
so it seemed to work out really well.
yeah, because the first half it was a talent show. What did people do? I really actually like Sandra.
Sandra's was a great opening.
Did a good joke.
A little stand-up.
A little stand-up
A little
joke.
Seinfeld moment.
That was a good joke.
Yeah, about the airplane food.
Yeah, airplane food. What's the deal?
What's the deal? But I think she was just telling truth.
I mean, it was, yeah, I mean, $800, $200. What's the deal with that when I can just have bigger boobs, I guess?
Everyone claps.
For myself, not
Yeah.
on my girlfriend. I don't care about.
That is true.
I want bigger boobs.
Yeah.
I'm
For your
self-conscious.
girlfriend, yeah.
Yeah, for myself. Yeah, that's what
yourself.
it's clear here. You don't question
Clear.
it. Don't question it. What else? Susan did like karate or something. Ellen did a like
Well-
sex ed type thing.
Mm-hmm. Just for the other contestants in case
Yeah,
they
like-
didn't know.
I learned a lot from it.
I did as well.
I learned a lot.
I learned a couple words.
I mean, there's the ones that seemed like that were highlighted the most was Leslie. She was very confident. I mean, she danced
And then
and she really went for it too. By the way,
she
like fully went for it.
110%. She was trying to win this thing, and she thought she would.
Yeah, no, she was very confident. And then to top it all off, she was like, "Oh, I bake too.
A little
Eat this.
bacon.
Eat
Eat
it.
it."
Literally eat it." But Joan came out with the surprising. She
The
was very like
underdog.
worried.
Yeah,
she said like, "Oh, I don't
she
really
had
have
no
any talent." And then she brought out like a poem. Very nervous, but I thought it was a pretty good. It was a good poem.
It was good.
It was funny. It was cute.
It rhymed.
It did rhyme. That's
did
what
like
I.
that.
it
That's
need-
my criteria.
Yeah, because otherwise, like poems that don't rhyme, I'm like
It needs to be simple rhymes, like cat, hat, and she did a good job on those.
Sam, am,
Ham. Nice.
eggs,
Green eggs and ham.
one fish. Yeah, I mean, I appreciated, and it seemed Gary like appreciated the fact that he could tell how
Nervous she was.
and
afraid.
and I think he sort of just appreciated the fact that like she still went for it, which is cool. I mean, that is
that just shows how much Gary cares and really understands the situation.
he's like appreciating those smaller details, I feel like. And Leslie was noticeably upset about it. Like she did say a good line I like though. She's like, I'm able to be happy for Joan while still being like upset for myself. I'm like, that's very fair.
That is
like
true.
I'm sure there was some like jealousy
Well,
things
she did-
in there, but she didn't exhibit the jealousy. She was just like,
Yeah, she did say it was a pity vote,
ooh,
which
I
was,
didn't catch that.
Well-
Wait, did she actually say that?
Yeah,
You're
she did.
putting her. Okay.
She said that.
You're putting her on the record, right?
Putting her on the record saying it was a pity vote.
Okay.
I remember that this was like interviewing before it happened, and she said if like someone else got it, or maybe she was talking about Les or Joan, that it would be a pity vote.
Okay. Because yeah, I mean, she was upset after the fact.
she
She
definitely
was like
was.
crying. So. But yeah, I mean, I noticed the like line she said. She said, I'm happy for Joan, but I'm still just upset for myself.
Yeah, that is good.
Because you can be both. You can be both. But so then Joan gets the sit down one-on-one time dinner at night with Gary. and he even like expressed to her like you know, like I was really rooting for you up there. Like he said like I could tell like how
nervous, you were.
like how big of a thing that like doing that was. So, and then they both sort of address how dating after losing their partners, and like I think she asked him first, right? Like she asked him, like, you know, saying like, "You're such an amazing guy. Like, have you even dated at all since you lost your wife?" And he said, like, "Well, I waited like a year because like that's what everyone says. Like it's some sort of
amount of time.
It's a magic number." But he said, like, yeah, and but the end of the year, he was just like, yeah, no,
nothing changed,
nothing. Like it doesn't work that way. And she said the same thing. She said, like, yeah, after a year, she attempted to as well, but it was like, it was just too soon. And I think she said it's at that point, like, as of her time with Gary, it's been 2.5 years. So, I mean,
that's the magic number.
That is the magic number. Yes. If you want to know, it's 2.5 years. Just ask Joan. But, I mean, they both, they do seem like, it doesn't seem, I don't know, like, it doesn't seem like anyone's playing. At least between Joan or Gary, and none of that seemed like fake. I don't know.
Yeah,
it did seem
real.
like Gary is really interested in Joan, and Joan is like,
yeah, that there was a true connection. It wasn't just set up. Definitely.
And she brings up what very shortly after becomes a big change up, which was like her daughter had like a child before she came on the show, and she said it was like a C-section too, right? Or it was just like
it was a C-section, which is pretty common, but it still can be like.
And there's obviously
scary.
been some sort of like issues or complications since then, you know, not knowing the details.
Or I think it was another birth or something like that. It might have been. It was just I forget exactly what it was, or if it was about the birth.
Right. Yeah. But either way, she gets a message the next morning from her daughter saying, you know, no, we don't know what it says, but we just know that it's
it was an emergency.
It required Joan to put her family first and her kids first, and it was really sad because I really liked Joan in this episode.
I feel like she was doing really well.
She really showed out, and it was pretty disappointing. But yeah, she had to leave. She told Gary, who, again, like, I appreciated Gary's reaction because I felt like his reaction was very honest. Like,
I really liked how he handled this situation.
I mean, immediately he started crying, which again is like sad, but he said, like, you know, I understand why you have to go, but like, again, it's sort of the same, like he said, like, you know, I understand why you have to go, but I'm still disappointed, like, about us.
Yeah, he's really sad that he's going to lose this potential powerful connection, but also does a fantastic job of like supporting her.
Yeah, just like really I feel like he did do a good job of making her just know, like,
her decision. Yeah,
this is you got to do this. You got to do this. And that was really a sweet moment, I felt like. And again, another thing we don't really get to see all that often on standard Bachelor, Bachelorette. Like, there's been contestants on that one, on like the Bachelor, Bachelorette, who do have kids, although none of them are probably like adults who are having their own kids. Like, a lot of them are young kids themselves, where they have to take, like, a few seasons ago on Bachelorette, there was a contestant named Michael who has a son, and he had to like leave the show because of his son. And like he was making it pretty far. Who knows, maybe would have won, but whatever. But he was like, yeah, no, I gotta go see my son.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like completely
unheard of,
but it's like, this seems like a more real or more common thing, like, for this show, because it seems like a lot of these women have full families already, and so
a lot of potential for emergencies or people needing to see you.
Yeah. But moving on, we got the one-on-one. It was who came
Ellen,
this guy
yeah.
I didn't know.
Mhm,
Michael. I
some-
wrote his name down as Michael Costello.
Okay, some like fashion
He's a fashion
icon,
related guy.
some Calvin Klein ass man.
He comes in to say the one-on-one is going to Ellen. He brings her to like try on a whole bunch of really nice dresses, and then he only charges her for like half of them. No,
She has to pay the full amount up
I
front.
really am curious though. Like you brought it up, like you did make a joke about like, oh yeah, that'll be like $10,000. But I'm like, I am curious. Like, does she get to keep that dress?
Yeah.
Does she have to pay for? I'm sure she doesn't have to pay for it. But I guess
No,
the question
but-
is like, does she get to keep it or no?
Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder. But
Unless
She-
she's like, I got really sweaty in the dress.
yeah, like
you don't want this.
you don't want this. It would be easier just to let me hang on to it.
I'll get rid of it. I'll burn it.
Yeah, I will never wear it again. Don't worry. And then we even do get a little glimpse of Teresa when Ellen gets to go on this date. Teresa sort of saying like, you know, having gone on my date and it goes so well, it's hard to deal with other women. So I feel like it's a very human thing.
Yeah.
It's
You
like,
see it every Bachelor. Pretty much.
it's to be expected.
But that's my man.
That's my man. You can't talk to him. I felt like Ellen's date was also just like really short. Like again, you compared to like Teresa's last week. That was like a pretty
lengthy date.
yeah. I mean, it showed a lot. This one, like they get a like I don't even know where they eating or just having a drink when. You know, she asked him about his like wedding day, and he's like, "Oh, I don't even remember." Like, yeah, I can look at pictures, but I like don't remember. Like, you know,
All the booze.
yeah. He says like, oh, we didn't have a honeymoon. We would like invite our parents over because we knew they would bring groceries. We were like that
dirt
broke
poor,
and
yeah.
stuff, which I thought that was really sweet.
Him sharing that was cool.
And again, I'm also curious about Ellen because the way Gary said it this time, he said like, "Oh, I know you're no longer with your husband, so, you know, are they just separated or did he pass away?" I mean, this isn't one I feel like. Have we gotten that full answer? Because if you're not with your husband,
Yeah. I don't know, actually.
yeah, I don't. But either way,
It made
they're
it seem like it was just a breakup.
yeah, they separated.
Separated, but it could have been.
I mean, she said that they met when they were like 10
10.
years
I
old.
know, that's
Dude,
pretty
that's
wild.
crazy.
It's insane.
And they were married for
25
years. I mean, that's, yeah. But they also had like a really sweet. He gave her
Yeah.
earrings. They went up on a hot air balloon.
Only charged for half the price.
Yeah, only charged her half the price.
Yeah, I was disappointed. We didn't get a lot of like shots in the hot air balloon.
Yeah, I mean, it
Just
showed them
kinda
like
cut away.
kissing for like a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like super. Yeah, she was stoked
Yeah.
over everything. But she did get a rose. But that was, yeah, I mean, that was pretty much it. That's really all we saw was like that one conversation and then like a couple seconds of them in a hot air balloon.
Yeah, that's all we get to see.
Would you rather drive on an LA freeway at night to go to a diner, or would you rather go up in a hot air balloon?
Definitely hot air balloon.
Okay, yeah.
Anything but LA traffic.
Yes. Yeah, I would rather take the hot air balloon to the diner than drive on that.
That would be faster.
Yeah. Then okay. I think this now here's when we start getting
Yeah.
into a little bit of the issues here.
Little drama.
It shows Teresa talking to Kathy, and she's telling her about how good her date was last week and how
It's hard seeing him
Yeah.
spend more time
yeah,
with the other women.
like how good she feels. And like Kathy took that as like a personal like
Insult.
attack at her, which I'm just like I don't really follow.
I don't either.
Like
I didn't get any type of
even when
hostility
like
or
they
bad.
had the conversation later on, I still didn't really understand because okay, so she like she obviously doesn't like how confident Teresa is, and she even said like you know, when I like look at Teresa, I can just know that she's looking at me thinking, you know, like, oh, Kathy, you don't have a chance.
I know.
I'm
That's
like,
a
how
big
how
assumption.
can you assume that?
I think she's a mind reader.
And it's just like that's very much seems like you're just putting
Yeah, just taking like the worst view, the worst possible bad faith view of the situation and what her intentions were.
It's like, yeah, and it's like, how can you take someone just like, which I'm curious because, first of all, that's probably something they have, like, in the interviews at least, they have to talk about that. Like, as far as like, oh, how do you think your date went? I'm sure it's probably something like that comes up.
Exactly,
but like,
yeah.
even talking to like other contestants, I'm sure a lot of them ask like, oh, how do you think your date went? I mean, I'm not saying like Kathy asked that, but
it's a normal topic to bring up.
It's like, yeah, you're on The Bachelor where you're like pretty much sole focus is all of you are dating the same guy.
So why wouldn't you like talk and communicate?
Yeah, and it's like, what else is going on in your life right now aside from that? Like, I'm sure there is, but in this literal moment right now, in this past week and a half or however long it's been, this has been the only thing that all of you are focusing on.
As you should for the show.
As you should, yeah, exactly. But I don't know. It just got it got weird because then even at the cocktail party later on, April was the one. Not even Kathy. It was April who says like, oh, you know, I think people should be more discreet with you know, talking about their time with Gary or whatever she said. Like, just basically people shouldn't be talking about it.
Yeah, repeating what Kathy did say.
And Teresa, like, clearly picked up on, okay, this is addressed at me. Mm-hmm. She was upset. And yeah, she was upset.
She, like, goes off, like, runs or walks away.
Yeah.
Crying.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so she goes and talks to April. And April...
Yeah, April.
Yeah, no, April was like, oh, Kathy is the one you should be talking to.
Because, that's right, yeah.
Like, and Teresa was even said, like, so you were saying that on her behalf? And she was like, yes. I'm like, okay, I mean, appreciate you being honest, but it's like...
Very open.
Did you don't need to do that. Yeah, did you need to do that?
How much did she pay you? Or what dirt does she have on you?
And then we got a nice little interruption with, like, Faith having, like, just a nice sit down with Gary.
Away from the drama.
Away from the drama. It was just going good. Like, it's good to still see her because, yeah, I mean, she hasn't gotten a date. She hasn't really been highlighted a lot on the group dates. At least, like, I should say with Gary. Like, and the talent show she sang again, but, like, it didn't really highlight her all that much.
That is true. She didn't get very much time at all.
But she had a good sit down. But then... it obviously has to go back to the drama because then when Kathy sits down with Gary, she starts like breaking down and like crying, and Gary being the king that he is, he's like, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And she says, oh, there's been like meanness from like she just says there's been meanness or like whatever in the house. And that, you know, what you see when you come in isn't always, like, what's real or whatever. I guess referring to, like, you know, maybe some of the women are, like, putting on an act or something. Again, if she's talking about, like, Teresa, it's like... I haven't seen that.
I've not experienced that.
She doesn't seem like, at least from what we've seen, even when she's not around Gary, it doesn't seem like she's putting on any sort of...
Yeah, she seems the same.
Yeah.
With everyone.
But, like, Gary is just, like... he appreciates her honesty, her vulnerability, opening up and saying, like, because she did say, you know, I just want you to be happy. I don't want, like, you to have to potentially, I don't know, get scared or worry about any of this. He gives her a rose, which, like, probably in, like, a regular bachelorette, I would, like, roll my eyes at or be like, oh, come on. I was a little bit more lenient with Gary because...
He's been doing the right decision.
Yeah, I
all
mean,
up to
it
this
seems
moment.
like it's coming from a different place because he doesn't know like really what the issue is, and he just kind of thinks that she's like having a hard time, and he probably just wants to sort of like validate her, I guess.
Yeah, to help her out, definitely make her feel validated.
But then
he does talk to Kathy.
or no, wait,
Or
who
sorry,
ta-
not Kathy.
well, Teresa talks
Teresa.
to Kathy though, and that's like they had a really confusing conversation in my opinion, because Teresa, she like asked Kathy, like why she's been feeling upset, or like why she's doesn't, why she kind of thinks that Teresa should not be talking about her relationship with Gary. And Kathy sort of says like what she's been saying in the interviews to Teresa, where she's like, when you talk like that, it just makes it seem like you're completely dismissing me and saying like,
I have Gary. You have no chance.
you have no, and kind of being like pretty aggressive with
definitely.
the way she was saying it. And Teresa just immediately was like, she didn't like really argue it. She was just like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Like,
she was very apologetic.
She said like, that wasn't my intention. And like, even when she's saying that, like Kathy's saying like you're saying that, but like, that's not what your actions are. I'm like,
Give her a
what are you
chance.
like talking about? Like,
Yeah.
she made it seem like Teresa was like only saying those things to be boastful or like cocky or brag or whatever, any word you
Put
want
herself
to put.
above the rest.
Yeah, and it's like I didn't see it like that at all.
Yeah, definitely not.
And Gary comes in and finds Teresa like crying, and he asks her about it, and that's like when Gary sort of finds out that Teresa was the one that Kathy was talking about, and he's like pretty shocked. But he sort of just tells Teresa like, if you don't think you are being boastful, it's probably just best to let it go and not let this like affect you or anything anymore. Like,
Yeah, which is good advice. Don't
Yeah,
like,
I
stoke the
mean,
fire. Don't continue the drama.
don't give it any more power, but like it really,
Be the better person.
this is like a tough one because this really is like I want to say fabricated, but it's just like it's purely just like Kathy taking it as like she's very much just like assuming like Teresa's like intentions are bad and mean about it, and specifically like towards her in a way.
That is true, and she has no way of actually knowing if that's the case.
Yeah, and it's just like she's taking it really as a personal and it's like weird because Kathy does come across as like a very confident, outspoken woman, so like this definitely doesn't match up with that, like
with how she was acting.
Yeah, it comes across as like it's like
Petty.
weird. It's like, oh yeah, like this is like an insecurity, and like you're, from what we've seen, it doesn't seem like you're an insecure person. You seem, you seem confident, you seem outspoken, whatever, but it's like this definitely seems like it's coming from like a real just place of jealousy and insecurity. Yeah. But I don't know. I didn't like the way she talked to Teresa about it. Like she didn't even really let her apologize.
Or talk, or really. She was just kind of attacking her, putting her on the defensive the whole time.
Yeah, every time even Teresa just tried to say I'm sorry or like whatever, she's just be like, no, you're not getting it. You're not like, or something along those lines. It's like, it doesn't matter. It's like, because this is what you're doing. And it's like, how do you know what
I know.
You don't know. It was just frustrating because I really do like Teresa. I think Teresa is one of my favorites. She's, I think, very sweet and very,
I do
comes
agree.
across very genuine. But it didn't really end, like their conversation didn't really end like positively.
No,
really.
not at all.
There's
Very
no really
unresolved, up in the air.
And then it just goes to the rose ceremony, and like I guess the question, like I was saying, like is Teresa gonna get a rose? Because Kathy already has one, so it's not like Gary has to pick one or the other. It's more so just like, is Gary gonna like trust the connection that he has with Teresa, which he does.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Edith, and I think it was one other woman went home.
Yeah.
Someone
who didn't have a ton of screen time.
I honestly don't remember. But then it showed, like, even after that, Teresa, she was standing next to Kathy. And I feel like this was her trying to sort of
resolve it in a positive, at least.
Have a little bit of, like, just extend that olive branch, or, like, and she just said, like, did you have a good conversation with him at least? And Kathy was like, oh, yeah, like, and, I was crying, like, most of the time, but it was great. I mean, he was a great guy. He's a great guy. You are, like, I'm sure you know that. And she's like, yeah, I mean, same thing. Like, he came up to me while I was crying in, like, the bedroom, and Kathy just cut her off. And he's like, he came up to you in the bedroom? See, that's the kind of thing you can't talk about. I'm like, oh my God. And Teresa, again, just immediately just
shuts
it down. And it's like, okay, whatever.
That was bad.
I'm just like, what's
going on with her?
This is like, I don't know. This is kind of like what we see on the Bachelor, Bachelorette, like, as far as, like, the jealousy showing. But I feel like Teresa's doing, like, a way better job of
with dealing with it,
not like,
letting it explode into this huge ordeal.
Yeah, she's not fighting. She was just apologizing, even though I don't necessarily think she
didn't
needed
even have to. Yeah.
But overall, I think it was it makes me very curious, because it seems like they're probably going to have some sort of date next week where one of them is going to go. And I feel like it's
Kathy's
going
out.
I mean, I would be super surprised if he picked, like, Kathy over Teresa. I mean,
yeah, I definitely would as well, especially once he hears, like, both sides.
Yeah, if he really finds out, like, and it's retrospect at this point, but if he's, like, watching the episode back, I'm sure he'd probably be a little bit frustrated by it.
No, definitely.
Well, that covers the good stuff. You ready to get your hands dirty now?
Put on my gloves.
I need to put on my gloves. I
feel like my gas mask.
I feel like Sam and I would be a good couple after those, like, pretzels that I ate, because I feel like I'm gonna have, like, a similar issue of some sort. Those things were so dry and stale. It's like it sucked all the moisture out of my body. There's no lubricant for me. It's like I'm gonna be delivering something too. All right, that's all I'm gonna say about that topic. So even once that gets to it, like, where do we start? A new edition, probably at the beginning.
At the toilet, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
No, at the beginning is good.
New edition.
Tanner
from Charity Season.
Good old Tanner boy.
I mean, Tanner was one that we had talked about wanting to see. And I feel like he actually has lived up to at least so far from the very little bit we've seen, the expectations, or, like, what I've wanted to see from him, which is just, like,
aggressively going after other people's girls.
Yeah. Going after probably someone, from what we've seen, maybe you got to be a little bit cautious of talking to. No, I mean, I just wanted him to, like, do well.
Yeah, definitely. So him actually succeed.
Get a little bit of success. But he comes in and he talks to Jess first, who apparently Tanner is Jess's, like, #1 pick of who she wanted to see. So she was really excited to meet him. But he also talks to Kat. Who was also excited to meet him. But ultimately, he ends up choosing Kat. I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah, Kat with a K. Well, Kat with the C is unfortunately gone.
That is true.
Pour one out for her. She will be missed. Her expressions. I'd sort of forgotten her, funny expressions that she gave, but I appreciated her more here, and now I'm sad that she's gone.
Yeah.
But Cat with a K. Yeah, I mean, it's weird because I didn't have any sort of issue with her so far.
Yeah, she's been staying pretty low with Braden.
Yeah, Braden, like,
Nothing really too crazy going on with either of them up until this moment.
yeah, I mean, up until this episode, but he picks
Cat.
He picks Cat. Braden was like nervous. He was worried about, her potentially picking or going on a date. And I pointed this out to you, but he was saying like a lot of this conversation to Aaron B, which is like, aren't you guys supposed to be like
Enemies.
like choking each other out right now?
I know.
Challenging each other to a fight. It's just like, same with Sean. It's like, even Sean said, like, if you would have told me, a couple weeks ago, like,
I'd be having fun with Braden.
I would like Braden. It's like, yeah, no, I like Braden. I really hope he's getting screwed with all this. But
right. They seem to have a good relationship. All the
I mean, things
boys
have turned
being
around.
strong.
And that's, honestly, I don't want to say, like, I can't fully say I predicted that, but I was just like, if it doesn't, like, if the drama from, like, charity season doesn't fully, like, carry over, it's probably going to be acknowledged and then just, like... Dismissed. Like, it was acknowledged the first episode, but now we're on episode 3, and they're all cool with each other. And it's just,
which
like...
is nice.
I mean, it is good. I don't want there to be, like, especially,
old
like...
drama, yeah.
Aaron's, like... I didn't really like Aaron or Sean's, like, weird issue with Braden.
That was true.
Braden is
really
definitely a character, but I don't know.
He's managed to stay out of the limelight.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing fine. I mean, from when Kat's getting ready for the date, she like walks right past Braden, doesn't say anything to him, they don't have a talk before.
Like looking up, watching her leave.
He's like watching her, puppy dog her. But yeah, I mean, I don't think anything, like, again, it is still early. I don't necessarily think, like, I think at this point it's not crazy if they want to go on a date with someone else.
Yeah, it's only been 2 weeks. I mean, you can't expect, like, fully formed relationships. You found the person you wanted, and that's short of a time. So I feel like it's fair to, even if you got the rose from someone, it's like still check your options right now.
I didn't hate that. And I didn't necessarily even think that, like, the way the guys were thinking later on, where they say, like, oh, she was only using you for a rose. I wasn't necessarily thinking that. But what more just, like, I'm definitely not a big Cat fan after this episode. But it's not, I didn't feel that way. It was just, like, more of just, like,
how she handled it.
The way she, like, talked to Braden and even the other girls when they, like, want
that talk up. Yeah, that's what diminished my issue, or my image of her.
Yeah.
Really, the issue wasn't about her going on a date with someone who wanted to.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's, like, she
fair.
just said yes to a date. I don't think that was an issue. Their date, they got to go horseback riding. And I will admit, I was kind of thinking, like, oh man, she's gonna, like, hate this date if she, like, doesn't like the beach and, like, sand and, like, the ocean. It's like she's gonna, like, hate horse. But nah,
no, she liked it.
It was whatever. I mean, their date seemed fine. Like, Tanner seemed cool. It seemed like it was. Yeah, I mean, it went fine. They kissed, and she did say, like, it's, going better with you than with Braden, that other dude.
Other guy. I forget his name.
Then we get an Aaron S. highlight. I don't know if you wrote this down, but Aaron S. then was, like, comforting, like, Braden.
That is true.
Like, the man is, like, being there for he's there for his son or something.
He offers a shoulder to cry on.
Yeah. Then we get, before we get the next edition, we get a little moment with Will and Mercedes. And I knew it was kind of setting something up, because he's, like, saying how grateful he is for Mercedes and, like,
how she'll always be there for him.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Never leave him in the dirt.
But then Tyler comes down, and he first pulls Rachel to talk to. I didn't. I think I said it to you. I didn't at any point think that he was going to take
Oh,
Rach
yeah.
on a date.
Especially after they've been in the same season together.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I had to tell you about how he was on her season in his. He made it to hometowns with her, and then she broke up with him before even like meeting his family.
Wow.
But yeah, but she was saying like she was saying like there's always that flirty vibe with them.
Classic
I could
vibe.
I could see myself going on a date with him. I was
He's
just
like, yeah, right.
should have said that when he was on. I don't know, but it was just like I was like, yeah, no. Even when he like pulled her first, it was probably just like, here's someone I know.
I know.
And it's like there's probably some level of like,
Make everyone guess.
yeah, that too, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he also talked to Jess, and then Mercedes.
Mercedes.
And
Mercedes
of
was
course,
like, this is my number one guy.
yeah.
My number one.
And then according to Tyler, she was like his number one later on. I didn't believe. I don't know.
After she told him,
Yeah.
like, you're my number one. No, you.
I really like what Will said though when he either was talking to her or after he like picked Mercedes to go on the date with. He's just like laying on the like bed with like some of the other people around. He's just like, I'm getting used to this feeling, honestly. I'm just like, yeah.
Join the club.
Yeah. I mean, dude, second one.
That is horrible.
Then Tanner and Kat come back from their date. Braden and Kat go talk. And I don't know. How did you think this initial conversation went? Because I do think that she was pretty honest, and she did sort of say, just how she was feeling. Like, but do you think Braden was like, is justified in feeling like it's understandable for him to be hurt, but do you think it's like okay for him to be hurt by the way that she sort of broke up with him? Because she said like, I don't see things going any further, and he asked what changed, and she was just like, I wasn't even thinking about you at all while I was on
I did feel like it was pretty cold.
That was a little bit cold, but it is honest.
That is true. It is.
That
how
would be
she
like,
actually felt. She wasn't trying to sugarcoat it.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. I can't really appreciate that honesty, but that is like, that's a pretty harsh, like that's just brutally honest, I guess is the best way to put it.
I know, yeah. That's why you got to do a little white lies.
I mean, I don't think you need to like, if you're breaking up with someone, you know, it's gonna hurt, and you gotta
rip the
you gotta
Band-Aid.
know that anyways. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like that was a little bit of just like a little disregard of how he would feel.
Mm-hmm. And then what really got me was just her disregard of his feelings and her not understanding.
Yeah, I mean,
like why
their
why
second
he
conversation was like way more
that was
aggravating to me.
bad. Yeah.
Because he was upset, and he like talks to the other guys, and they're sort of the ones that bring up like, oh, you know, like, do you think she was just like using you for the rose? But it was like weird, because then like I sort of like, it didn't show any conversation that Kat had with like
the girls.
any of the other women about that.
Right.
I think it maybe showed like one clip of her sitting at the bar, and she was just like, okay, moving on, or like whatever.
Yeah,
and I was like,
mm-hmm.
is that even really about Braden? It was kind of like very much out of context. Like, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if that's
it could
really
have been anything.
Yeah, it could have been anything. But like when she comes up after her shower, if she comes up to the bar, and even like the women, it was like Kylie and who was the other one?
Mercedes, was it?
Mercedes, or yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh,
or Jess.
Jess, yeah.
And they were like saying like yeah, you're allowed to be happy, but like, you know, just be more like
aware of the guy,
aware, yeah, sort of just like aware or considerate of other people's feelings. Which I was just like, in that moment, I was like, it's weird that everyone, even the women, are like Team Braden, like just, you know, vouching for what he says, because it really hadn't shown a whole lot of her being like other than their first conversation,
yeah.
it didn't really show a whole lot of him or her, like,
disrespecting him publicly
yeah.
or talking bad.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't really say. So, like, either either the other women were just going off of his word, or
yeah.
like, or it didn't, like, maybe she like was being like inconsiderate and it just didn't really show it, but like maybe they picked up on something that we didn't get to see, but then she got like frustrated in that conversation. She was like, all right, we need to talk now, you guys follow me.
Yeah, she definitely didn't make herself look any better.
And they're like, and she's like, what? All right, what's going on? What the freak is going on? As Tyler would say, what the freak is going on? And
Brain was like, just telling her like how he felt and how he felt betrayed. I don't know if he said used or any of that, but
when he talked to her, yeah, like when they talked, he was like, yeah, like, I mean, it just felt like a switch was flipped or whatever, like when you came back. Yeah, like you know, at the rose ceremony, you were super, like, you hugged me, you kissed me even though I was all sweaty or whatever, you were smiling, and then like just like when you got back today, it was like completely like the cold shoulder type of thing where you like completely, it just like completely changed. Which, yeah, I mean, I don't really know, like, I don't know how to read that, but again, like the biggest problem I have then was just like her getting angry at him for like
expressing his emotion,
feeling, for like expressing that, and she was probably upset that, like, I mean, she probably thinks that like he told the other girls or was telling people about how, I mean, which he was saying like, I was, you know, she seems so cold, whatever, like he was talking with the other guys about that, but she was saying like I don't know, like I don't really know what she was, like her argument was. Like I really couldn't tell like what her goal in that conversation was. It was almost like
true. It was just like she was
mad that like he was upset and like telling other people.
Yeah, she was like, he was put on the defensive, like he had wronged her by making her look bad to the other people.
Yeah, that's the way it came across.
To like get back at her or something.
Yeah.
And then, but she left no room for like Braden to express or say anything more. She was just she just wanted to show him how upset she was.
Yeah.
And how wrong she felt she was.
And even when he's saying like, yeah, I feel like, he said like, yeah, I feel used. I feel like we say a cheap whore. A weird, yeah, okay. Weird time, yeah.
Classic Braden analogy.
Classic Braden move. But I mean, I'm in reference to, he at this point probably does think that
he was used.
He was just, used for the rose.
For his rose.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to read that. I don't feel like that is, you know, I don't feel like you're totally able to read that or like be able to judge that. Because she could have been interested, but she's just now interested in someone more, which I feel like that you can be upset about. And then you could take that reasoning and sort of come up with other ones like, oh, that means you never liked me or something type of thing.
True. Yeah, you could just keep going down that rabbit hole.
Sort of like an ego thing. I don't know. But
5 stages of grief, denial, bargaining, pleading.
Yeah. But it's just like, that whole conversation, she just felt like she was just like attacking him. And like he would kind of just try to say like, well, I just like you were so different when you came back. It felt like the conversation you had for me, you know, saying like you didn't even think about me. It just felt like so cold, and it's just like a completely different from how you were literally last night. Like that was a noticeable change, and it just felt like that hurt, and like I felt hurt by that. And she was like, why? I was just being honest with you. Like,
I know why I feel that.
Yeah, I mean,
Try
that's
not feeling that.
And she's like, you can't just do that and you can't like blame me or whatever. And it was just like, what are you talking about?
I know. Pretty sure you can. Those are the things you have to get through and talk through.
Yeah.
And communicate through instead of shutting it down.
I mean, communication. Her communication skills, at least in this moment, were just like not
very sloppy.
Yeah, it was just like yeah. I wouldn't like if I was like dating her, I would feel like I was walking on eggshells a lot because I would feel like if there was anytime there's an issue, if I brought it up, it would cause a big problem and. In some weird way, it would get turned around on me, regardless of what it's about.
Right, true.
It's like because there's an issue, it's my fault. This is like really like this is not me assuming or whatever, but it's just like this was just such a frustrating argument. It's just
puts
like
you through that situation.
It just made me think like, it's like, is this how she always like communicates or like talks or fights with like?
That would be bad.
Partners. It's just like this seems like not only extremely exhausting, but like this would be like, oh my gosh.
I know. We need Gary in here. Call Gary.
I need Gary.
All she has to say is, "I'm listening. You have my
attention.
You have my
attention. I'm listening."
And then let him talk, and then you say, "Bye, bozo."
Yeah. See you later. Get out of my face. No, I mean, yeah. All right, let's get off. That's frustrating. We finally actually get to see Tyler and Mercedes go on their date, even though like they got like
it happened like the morning.
She got asked out in like the morning and basically started the episode. And now it's like end of the episode almost, and like so much has happened.
An entire like whole season's drama just happened in between their dates. And
they're walking up to their like table. They supposedly see a shooting star. Who knows? Who knows?
There's just some like dust in the air.
It's probably just like a airplane or.
They're like, whoa, that's a sign.
Yeah,
that the Earth is ending. I mean, our day is doing well.
Instead of me heading straight for us.
That's getting bigger.
That raccoon, I think it's like
a Holy Spirit coming to bless us with
maybe
trash.
It like just ate some toxic waste and is about to like mutate into something that's gonna like eat us.
It has like a bunch of fleas on it.
No, it's rabid. Yeah, I mean, is the shooting star okay? But the raccoon, why do you think the raccoon is a sign?
That's a sign to break up, if anything.
It's like, oh yeah, something that's known for going through trash. Yeah, that's a good sign.
It's a good sign.
I mean, their date was, again, it was just like, okay, we both said it last week and probably the week before about how like difficult it is to watch this show immediately after Gary.
Oh, yeah.
I would say like I would go to the extent and say it is fully like negatively impacting my like enjoyment and like opinion on Bachelor in Paradise. Like if even if they just flipped it and put Paradise first,
it would be way better.
It would be more refreshing than to like see Gary, because it's like, oh man, we just had to put up all that whatever, but like all the like annoying stuff would just be in the back of our mind, whereas like the good stuff's like fresh. But now it's like, no, the good stuff stands out so much, it's still fresh in your mind even as the bad stuff's like happening.
The thing we just watched is like out of my mind.
Yeah,
I'm only thinking about Gary. I'm like, what did Gary do again?
I'm like, oh, like how I need to write down what he said so I can use this. I'm like taking notes on like literally everything he says.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I would say it's like legit critique for like the production and like ABC. Don't do this order again, like ever.
Yeah, definitely have the Golden Bachelor
afterwards.
Have that be the end. Because
even this annoying stuff with Kathy, it's like there was still a silver lining in that, where it's like Teresa shows you like how you can like. I felt so bad for Teresa because it was like she was not fighting; she was just like
taking the shit.
Yeah, I mean, which you don't always need to do. You definitely don't. That isn't necessarily the message, but it was just like Kathy was she was expressing how she felt hurt by what she thinks that Teresa was doing. Not, I don't think necessarily is true, but then Teresa's just apologizing. Like, so I did not mean to hurt you. That was not my intention. I'm so sorry. But now, yeah, and then we get stuff like, Brayden, why are you mad at me that I broke up with you and like don't want to talk to you anymore, you stupid idiot? Shut up and tell everyone that I'm a great person. Otherwise, I'm gonna like murder you in your sleep.
How dare you tell other people like your own feelings and like negativity about me and have them develop their own opinions and then express it to me and then have me feel bad? How dare you? You
have the gall to do that? What the freak,
what the
dude?
Frick?
Yeah, Tyler, the king of frick, whatever.
The frickin'.
I mean,
the frick Lord.
Again, another thing I said to you during this was I think he might arguably be one of the most attractive men there now.
Yeah, I do agree.
But
on the outside, but the inside.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, his conversation. Like, I don't remember him being like. He was sweet, but like I don't know. He just, to me, he came across like really cringy.
I do agree.
Like their date came across as really cringy, and it was like weird too because like we experienced like Tanner. I didn't think Tanner was that awkward. I'm just saying, like, from the dates we saw, like with new connection, where it's like clearly it's their first time meeting and like talking together.
Awkward, yeah,
and it's gonna be probably the most awkward. And like, yeah, no, I felt like Tanner wasn't that awkward, but like Tyler, I don't know what it was. And yeah, again, we talking about all of their like compliments to each other. Would just like one of them would say something and would just be like, "Oh, you too."
Yeah,
no, you.
I feel the exact same way. Yeah.
You were like, you were the first person on my list. Oh, you were mine.
You were
like,
mine.
I really wanted to meet you. Oh, so did I.
Oh my God. I really feel
what made you want to come on Paradise for a second time? Oh, I saw you were on, what was it? You were on Zach's season, right? I saw you on that, and I was like, oh, I hope she's there. And then she's like, oh my gosh, yeah, I really want to see. I mean, it was whatever.
Yeah.
It's just something about him. It's like
surface level.
Yeah.
And then
this is probably an unpopular. I feel like he's probably pretty well liked. Like I feel like he might be a fan favorite. Really? Yeah.
He's my fan unfavorite.
He got done dirty a little bit last year with who he ended up with. They left. I think they left together and were dating, and then like she like went on a trip without him, and then like broke up with him. I think while she was gone or something.
Wow. That is pretty dirty.
Kind of. I don't know. I could be misremembering. It was something along those lines though, and it was a little bit weird though, and it was just like I don't know.
Classic. It works though, the system.
Yeah. Oh God.
If you want a girl that leaves you 3 months after,
go on this show. If you want a partner who will be like,
yeah, we'll get married.
We'll get married, dude. And I looked up too. I'm like, I read a thing like an interview from like I think it was past contestant. I honestly don't remember what the interview or the article was, but it said like, oh, like the filming for like Paradise is like the filming of it is only 3 weeks long.
Wow. That's really short. Yeah. It's way shorter than I would expect.
Yeah.
Watching it, especially.
Because I don't know for sure how long like The Bachelor is, like as far as filming. I thought it was like 2 months at least or something. I thought it was like at least like 8 weeks or 8 or 9 weeks or something like that. I thought like Paradise was, I mean, I didn't necessarily think it was like the same, but like I thought it was like
close to it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe
at least like 5 or so, like 6 weeks. But it's like literally 3. But I'm not supposed to like. That's like confusing though, because does that mean they just have like a rose ceremony? Because it's supposed to be like, oh, who's like the rose ceremony this week, but it's not really. It seems like it's every other day, right? Almost. And that means there's like new people coming in like every day. And if that's true, that also probably means Brayden and Kat, like, or whatever, have only been like
2 days.
Yeah, for like 2 days, 2 or 3 days, and it's like okay, a little bit like I'm like, yeah, Kat, you're allowed to like go on the date with Tanner.
Yeah,
or like
If it was like a
Mercedes
month,
with Will. Yeah,
that's one thing. 2 days.
yeah.
Hell
It
yeah.
even makes me question though, because I literally found this out recently. I've been watching the show for a while. Even like once it gets further into the season, like near the end, like the last like week or two, and they have like new arrivals. I'm just like, yeah, like what are these new people coming in for? Like, you know, there's all these couples at this point are already
Strong.
strong and
Presumably.
established. Like, why? Like, who's really gonna go on a date? But it's like, no, that's probably only like 2 weeks in. It's been like 2 weeks or
Wow.
something.
Yeah. Anything could change pretty much.
Yeah, and then like, yeah, when you think of it in that perspective, it's like, yeah, why wouldn't you?
Why? Yeah.
I don't know.
You're going to settle on your partner in like 2 days?
Yeah,
Propose to him?
propose and be like,
See you, bozo.
it's gonna be our 1 month anniversary before like or after we get engaged. So what? Pretty much at the end. Oh, Mercedes and Tyler come back. Everyone's like sleeping down on the beach. No one wants to get up and talk to him, except for Avon, who just like
What
gets
a
up to
bro.
talk to.
His
Yeah,
bro.
what's up? His roommate, the roommates, I guess. Yo, bro.
Mhm.
And
Calls
then-
him Big Papa or something like that.
Yeah.
He calls him like Pop or something.
Oh yeah, Pop.
Pop.
I do wonder where that nickname came from.
I love it when you call me Big Pop.
Big Pop. Oh yeah, and then Mercedes goes up to Will and is like, "You want to talk?"
No.
He should have just been like,
No.
"Yeah, I'm laying down though. You can just like lay down next to me. Like, I don't really want to get up. I'm
Yeah,
like,
can you do
like,
this in front
halfway
of the group?
asleep. Yeah, I'm like on the verge of like falling asleep here. Don't make me get up and walk somewhere."
Yeah, so he drags him out.
Yeah, she drags him by his ankles over to a different spot, only to tell him like,
Only to dump him.
only to be like, "Yeah, I had a really good time, and I'm gonna sleep on it because I have a lot to think about." And
But I had a great time.
I had a great time. You have nothing to be worried about because I had such a good time.
It was it was like a breath of fresh air. It's
Yeah,
the number one.
I wasn't
person.
even thinking about you the entire.
It's crazy. I totally forgot you were even here.
Yeah, dude. At this point, I
He
said to you,
knows. He knows.
if
He
he
was just
gets like
taking it.
broken up, or if he's gonna need a Hail Mary, and I don't think there's gonna be a woman that comes down because of the dramas. Sort of since the women have the roses to give out this week. I can't say this week. This second day or fourth day
third
or
day.
whatever.
They have all the power, so now it's up to him.
Yeah, it's like the new guys coming in trying to like shake things
Rule.
up. Yeah, and so like it would be surprising if like a girl came down to, but so yeah, if she breaks up, if she breaks up with Will, I just want to see Will be like, all right,
See ya.
I'm good, I'm kind of good.
Pour one out for Will.
Pour one out for Will.
He needs it. He's in a dark place right now.
Yeah.
Someone check on Will's Instagram.
Oh my gosh, send him a DM. Just be like, make sure like, are you okay?
You need to talk.
If you need to talk.
Come on our podcast.
Yes. Will. I like Will. I mean,
I do like Will.
he had a little bit of a shaky start, for sure, with this
Yeah.
whole Olivia and Kylie stuff. But he's gotten the short end of the stick a little bit.
Twice now.
Twice now, yeah.
He just needs to pick better sticks. to
He
not-
just needs like, yeah. He's
Don't pick the
playing that
short
game
stick.
where it's like you pull like the shortest, like, or like you pull the
Yeah.
sticks out and they're like supposed to be all the same
They look the
size,
same. Yeah.
and his is like doesn't match up with anybody. His is like a small twig that's like broken off from one of the other like sticks, and it's just like, hey, does this go with anybody's? It's like, dude, I'm pretty sure
No.
that's just like a broken piece. Like, we don't even have. You have like an odd number of sticks in this. This doesn't even work. Like, what are you doing
How'd you
here?
even get a stick?
Yeah, wait, who gave you that? Did you steal that?
You just take that off the ground.
It's like, it's kind of cheating, bro. No, I mean, yeah, I really don't know what's gonna happen with Will, because I don't remember any of the previews at this point, or like, if
Yeah, I was hoping to see Will in there, but I did not see him.
yeah, I mean, next week it covers like it just showed a lot more of like Braden and Cat drama, and Cat gets like even more like pissed off, PO'd. Yeah, good job.
Fricked off.
She gets fricked off. Oh yeah, and then I guess like even though we barely talked about it, it's like, oh, is Sam gonna stay? Okay. Maybe.
Okay,
I hope that she's okay.
Yeah,
at least,
I do.
But
that would suck if she left because of that.
yeah, I mean that would be really weird. The one thing I will say about that whole situation is I actually did appreciate Aaron's response to it.
He did do a good job.
It was a pretty. It actually did show, I think, some maturity. It was like
he wasn't like ew.
Yeah, ew.
I thought girls didn't go to the bathroom.
Girls don't poop. Get away.
But instead, he was like, "Here's some."
He was like, "I don't know. I'm gonna help you.
Food. Yeah,
I'm gonna get you some tacos and beans, and like we're gonna do weird exercises."
Yeah, he was there for her, even through the night.
Yeah, I mean, well, he even like said too. It's like you have no idea, like with my job, how like much stuff like this happens.
That is true.
Which did confuse me for a second because first I forgot what he did, but then I was like, oh wait, no, he's a firefighter, and then I was like, oh wait, no, he's a firefighter.
Wait,
why is he doing? But then I was like, oh wait, no, they do
medic
do that stuff. Like
yeah,
they do a lot
first
of
responders.
Yeah, they're first responders. They do a bunch of they do everything too, and so it's not all that surprising. I'll give Aaron S his manly compliment this time. That was a good response, Aaron. Good job. Is there any other gold or trash you would like to dig through before we say goodnight?
I feel like a raccoon on this episode, just digging through trash.
I feel like, yeah, like someone like painted like the little black stripe over my eyes. But then like when watching like the Golden Bachelor, I felt like I had like my pickaxe out and like a mining hat on, and I was deep in the gold mine. And I was like singing hi ho.
I was a prospector out there in the gold rush.
Yeah.
And I feel like trying to find gold now. It's like I'm getting dirt.
Yeah, I'm like, why is there like so much like
why is there a plastic bottle?
Like someone like, wait, this isn't like the like gold mine. This is like a landfill.
It's all trash.
So, like someone just like dumped me in put me in a dumpster, and it smells like crap in here.
I found like a half-eaten like McDonald's burger.
I was hungry, so I ate the rest of it.
I had to eat. I had no choice.
This is like literally, and I'll say it faster so you know how to spell it on YouTube. Like a literally, one word.
LIKEUHLIT.
LICKTOES.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
There we go. You can also find us on
Spotify,
Pandora,
Apple,
Google Podcasts,
and others.
And
Google.
Yeah, just Google our name.
And Yahoo.
They'll know who we are.
Yeah.
Leica literally is the most famous podcast.
Say Vic sent you.
Say Vic sent you, and Jamie will let you in.
You'll be at the door.
I'll be at the door. I'll be like, come on in.
I'll be in the office. When you come in, I'll be like facing the wall, and I'll turn
he's
around.
Gonna spin in his chair, and I'll be like, we've been expecting you. We knew that you wanted to show up. Don't deny it.
I have like a cat or something I'm petting.
And then Vic is secretly Dr. Evil. When you come in, the like door's locked behind you, so you can't escape. Not that you would ever want to escape.
Yeah.
Why would you ever want to stop listening to your favorite podcast that you've never heard before?
I know. Now you can listen to it forever.
And ever.
And
Halloween is coming up. Are you excited?
I'm pretty scared.
I am scared. It gets scary around here.
Any horror movies you're excited for? Or have yet to see and want to see?
Sound of Music.
Yeah. It's pretty horrifying.
I've been seeing like just some of the classics they've been playing in theaters. I saw Scream a week ago, was it? I think, and as well as the original Nightmare on Elm Street. I saw the new Saw. It was very Saw-ful. No, I actually enjoyed it.
That is cool. I heard good things.
I haven't seen the new Exorcist yet, but I'd rather just like exercise at home. So
Yeah, I already don't do that at home.
yeah. I've been eating a lot of candy though, imaginary
Nice.
candy.
Yeah,
I've been pretending to eat it.
that's pretty cool. In the spirit of Halloween.
Yeah,
While dressing up
yeah. I dress up,
as yourself. The most.
and then I take the costume off and walk outside, and people run away because my costume's too scary. And I'm like, wait a second, I forgot to put it on. Yeah, I was walking outside today, and this Target, and this girl asked me where I got my mask from, and I was just like,
What, Matt?
yeah, what? Excuse me? What the freak did you just say to me? Happy Halloween. Just stay spooked out there. Don't get too spooked though, otherwise you'll need the dill stick to relieve yourself.
Yes, make sure don't eat too much candy, or else you might get backed up for a while.
Yeah, you don't need that. You don't
want
need
that.
digital stimulation.
Yeah, it's probably better not to.
But watch a scary movie, eat some popcorn, candy corn, shout at some kids, and call it a night.
That's good.
Yeah,
It's a good night.
yeah. That's a regular night for me though. I need to
Seems
do
pretty
something
fun.
special. Anything else?
Yeah.